Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to today's webinar session. My name is Anthea Magaris. I'll be a presenter for this session. We're just going to be running through a few areas of the Teacher Centre just to familiarise yourselves with the certain areas that you'll be working with, but also to let you know of the certain upgrades that have happened recently. There are more functionality happening. So I'm just going to graze over some of the main areas, but we'll be basically looking at results and reporting and classes. So to start off, the first area here, classes, this icon basically looks at your students, how many students you have in your class. Here you can also print off the sign-in cards and you can start to create your ability groups. Looking at the next icon, we have courses. Courses is a great area and that allows you to choose the specific course for your group or your class, but you can also create your own custom-made course in this area. Moving on to the next icon, we have results, and this is where we can start to set focus activities for your students. Being able to set focus activities means that it really allows you to give your students a focal point that when they sign in, they'll have that specific activity pop up for them to do, and they'll have to do it before they can do any other area in the Mathletics site. The next icon along is reporting, and this is where most of your reports will be held. There are three main areas, and I'll graze over those a little later on. Then further along down here we have Challenger. Challenger is where it keeps all of our NAPLAN style resources for literacy and numeracy. It's a very easy step-by-step process in using that, so you'll get quite familiar with that one as you start to use this area. Workbooks is where we keep all of our instant workbooks. We have instant workbooks from series A to G primary, but also all the way through to our secondary as well. Demonstrations is basically where you can go in as a student. It takes you straight into the Student Centre, and from here you're able to use certain areas to allow your students to get an idea of how they should be using their Student Centre, but also fantastic for IWBs because you can use the areas to show the students what to do. And lastly, the Teacher Toolkit. Now this toolkit also holds a lot of great information and resources for you to use, and we are currently working on upgrading this area as well, so there'll be a lot more in there. So those are the main 8 areas, but we're going to be looking at classes today, so I'm just going to click on classes. And this is my class of students. Now I've just got one class, 2A, and it's a very small class. Some of you might have 30 students in a class, and when that happens you'll know that not every single student in your class will have the same ability. They're not all going to understand the same work. So the fantastic thing about this is that you can start to create ability groups and assign specific courses to different students. This way you're allowing each student to work at their own pace. In order to create an ability group, you simply come up here to the plus new group section and click on the tab. A box will pop up, and this basically will allow you to enter some information to create your group. So the first thing we need to do is name our group. I'm going to name my group 2A Blue. Very generalised there. Now looking at the country, I'm going to select Australia because that's where I am. And then I'm going to be looking at the course I want to select, which will be a Year 1 course. So this is going to be for my remedial students. If I click Add Group, it will automatically create that, and you can see the tab there. I'm also going to create another one, and this time I'm going to name it 2A Pink. I'm going to select the country as Australia, and now I'm going to select the Year 3 course and click Add Group. So now I've got my Year 2 students. I've created a working towards and a working beyond. In order to start putting my students in these ability groups, I simply click on the group that I want my student to be in, and I come down to the bottom here and click Move Students. And it's just loading there. Now all of my students have popped here, and I'm looking at this student here. So I'm going to move them to the left. Okay, and we can see that the student is now in 2A blue with the Year 1 course assigned. I'm now going to click on my 2A pink, and I've got a student here that is working fabulously, and I need to put them higher. So now they're on the Year 3 course. I just click the close, and now I can see where my student is. But if I click on View Whole Class, all my students show up, and it shows the year and the course that's assigned to them. So I can always view my whole class at any time, or I can view my individual groups and look at the course that's assigned to them. That's basically all there is to creating groupings. It's very simple, very easy, and it basically just allows you to create your ability so that I can start to use results to assign my focus activities. So in order to go to results, I'm going to click on the back button and click on my results icon. Now you'll be spending a lot of time in this area because this is where you can, as I mentioned, start to assign activities for your students. This first screen that has come up is just showing me my test results page. So I really don't want to do anything here. I need to actually drill down further into my activities. These are my specific topics along here. So if I click on my first topic, and I'm going to click on it there, now I can see the activities within this specific topic, and I can start to assign them. But I'll notice at the top here it's got my class 2A and then my group 2A pink. So I can always switch between my groups to go to a specific group that I want to assign activities for just by clicking on this area. Once I've clicked here, again I need to click on the topic to drill down, and now I can view the activities. Once a student has done an activity, the results will pop up here automatically. So it's a great snapshot for you to see what students have done work and what haven't, and what score they've received. If I hover my mouse over the score, it tells me how many times the student has attempted it and what the last score was. If I want to start setting focus activities, there are a few different ways that I can choose to do this. One way I can do it is just by clicking on the cell, and we can see it working there, and it will highlight it yellow. There'll be a number next to the student, so I know how many focus activities I've assigned, and so this automatically tells me that when the student signs in, that activity will pop up for them to do. Now if you've got a large group of say 30 students, it'll get a bit tedious having to click on each single cell. So we also have another way of doing it, which is much quicker, using our action bar. If we click on the drop down arrow, you'll see a number of options pop up. The first one is to assign activity to all students. If I click on this, you'll see it will automatically assign it to every single student. There was also a second option though. Assign activity to students with a score of less than 85. If I click on this option, it will only assign it for the students that got a score of less than 85. So we can see here no students have gotten above, but this student has gotten 100. So if I click on this, it won't assign it for Stella Bella. Okay, so from here I can see which students have been assigned work. If, however, I change my mind, I don't want to assign this work, I simply click on my action bar and click Remove Tasks from All Students. And just as easily as I had assigned it, it will take it off again. Okay. If I click on the drop-down tab, I will also see the preview activity. Now the preview activity is a great way for you to use with your IWBs because it allows you to go through a specific activity with the students and do some of the work as a group all together before you then go away and allow them to do it on their own. Okay, so there's the activity, it's popped up, and I can start to put in the answer, click submit, and go through this with my students. Okay, and now finally there was a final option here, Launch Teacher Guides. Now I won't click on that now, but basically the Launch Teacher Guides will open up a PDF that'll take you through the Results Manager section. So once I've gone through everything in this area, if there's anything that you can't remember or you just need to revisit again, click on the link Launch Teacher Guides. It's a great way for you to go through this on your own. So that's the action bar, and that's the purpose of using it. But like I said, you can easily just click on a cell at any time. Once you've set some work for a student, you will notice that there is also a something easier and a something harder. Now right now we're looking at the Year 2 group, but if I click on the something easier, I can always assign some work from the something easier section, which is the year below, Year 1 work. So if I'm not sure of a student's capabilities and I want to maybe just give them a little bit of work here and see how they go, I can easily just click on that and assign the work there. The something harder similarly does the same thing. If you click on that, it works on activities from the year above, so that would be Year 3 work. And again, you just click on the cell to assign the work for the specific student that you want. Once you've gone through and assigned the work that you want, you can always view this through the Assign Activities button. This will allow you to view all of the work that you assigned for the students, either by date range or by student name. So at the moment I can view all of the work that I have been assigned to the students. I can see that nothing's been completed yet, but once the student completes the work, then the result will appear. If I click on student name, I can view just student by student, or I can tick the View All button. It'll open it all up, okay, and I can view by student what's been done. If I click on the back button, it'll take me back. So that's the assigned activities area there if I want to just view all of my assigned activities in one area. Now I've been assigning work for my 2A group, but all I need to do is click on my 2A blue, and now I can assign work for this student, which is in the year below. If I click on topic, remember you must always click on topic to then drill down into the actual activities to assign work for the students. And again, the something easier will be a year below, so this will be kindergarten level. Something harder will be a year above, which will be Year 2. You will notice at the left here, it's got activities. Live Mathletics is something coming soon. It's very exciting, but it hasn't happened yet, so just watch this space. And then we've got assigned tasks on and off. Now a lot of teachers won't bother using this, but it's just an option for you to use if you want to. Say for example it's a Friday afternoon and you want to do all of your setting for Monday, but you still want the students to have access over the weekend to do their work. You can go through setting all your work and click the off button. Now what this will do is that it will disable the focus activities. So when the student signs in, those tasks that you've assigned will not pop up for them to do, and they'll have access to all areas, play live, go into the avatar, anything they want to do. Then on the Monday morning when you come in, you simply click the on, and when the student signs in, all of those tasks will pop up for them to complete. So it's a great little gadget to use when you're trying to save time. If I go back to my 2A class here, and it's just thinking, okay, and I click on my number facts where I've assigned work. Once I've assigned all this work, I can just as easily get rid of every single task that I've just set. So don't be afraid to play around and have a go, because I can always click on my cancel all tasks, and it will ask me, are you sure you want to cancel all assigned focus activities? I'll go, yep, I am sure. So all I need to do is click on that and it will unassign everything. Okay. So if I go back, and now I go back in, I'll find that everything should be unassigned, but there's a little bit of a lag at the moment. Now you'll also notice at the top here that we've got our help button, so if you need help at any time, click on that, you'll get some help. And once you started giving the students work that they're completing and all of the results start to pop up here, you can always use the export button. This will export all the data onto an Excel spreadsheet that you can store. Having said that, once a student completes work, nothing is ever removed. So if I have assigned work from a student, they've completed it, and then I've changed the course, just come back to the original course, all of the work will appear here again. Nothing will ever be lost. You'll also notice that if you click on the student's name, it'll come up with the focus activity that's been assigned. Oh, okay. But I unassigned everything, so I'm going to assign it again. Okay, and I'll assign this one too. Okay, so I'm going to click on Rose, and her focus activities are going to appear. So I can always view by student. Now from this area, I can easily remove a focus activity by clicking on the red X, because I've decided I just want her to do this one activity, and then click on the black X to get rid of that. So there are a few different ways that you can assign focus activities. There are a few ways that you can get rid of focus activities, and the whole purpose is that every teacher is different. They like to do things in their own way, so we're just giving you a few different options of how you want to use this area. It's totally up to you. Okay. Now, that's the main area of the Teacher Centre and resulting. I'm just going to go back, and I'm going to go back again, and reports is right here. Now once the students have completed the work, as I mentioned, you've got 3 areas of reporting. You've got your weekly summary, your report generator, and your live maths report. With weekly summary, you can come in here and view what your students have done. So I can see that Stella Bella has done activities and gotten 630 points. Now if I actually click on it, okay, it'll open up a one-page summary, so I can view how many times she signed in, for how long, where she got her points from, and I can view what those activities were, the date that she completed it, the score she received, and also my live Mathletics results as well. So this is a really great one-page summary for you to view what the students are doing, and you've got a print button to print that off. I can also, again, at any time, choose which actual group I want to view for those reports. Okay, and then just need to click on the back button again. Report generator is a one-page snapshot basically that looks at the test results. Now if I click on here, I don't believe Bella has done any tests. Oh yes, she's done one test. So here we're looking at test results only, so these are the different topics, okay? And Bella's done one test for number facts, and she got 100%. At the bottom we can also view the levels of the live Mathletics, and once the students start to do the work, you will see the results coming up here. Results of strengths and relative weaknesses. Basically this will look at when a student has completed work, it will show which work they were very strength in that they got 100% or close to, and this will show where they were quite weak, so they might have got 60% or less, and this is a good way for you to view that and go, okay, well I need to set that work again for that student, they're not doing too well in that area. It'll also show the certificates here. So it'll show how many gold, how many silver, how many bronze. So again, like I said, a very good snapshot. You can always print it with the print button, and a lot of teachers like to use this for parent-teacher notes. Okay. Lastly, we've got the live maths report. So if I click on here, this will basically just show all of my results for the live Mathletics only. So based on the level that you're looking at, and you can look at any level, it will show the results that the student has completed. If I click on this, I can actually set levels for students. What this basically means is that you can block levels for different students based on how well they're doing in this area. So as we can see here, these students right here have access to all levels. But this student here and this student here only have access to levels 3 and above. They no longer have access to level 2 or level 1. Now the reason you would want to start blocking levels for the students is if they're doing exceptionally well and they're getting everything correct and they're just sticking to the easy levels because they can get their credits easier that way. You can start to block them off, and that way it's encouraging them and also challenging them to try harder on the other levels. Once a student has reached what we call the human calculator level, this green arrow right here will appear over the level right here. Okay, and that's an indication for you to know automatically that you need to move the student up and block them from that. Again, you can always switch between your groups at any stage. So the great thing about your grouping is that you always have access to all of your students within whichever group they're at anytime you're in these different areas. So that's reporting, and that was just a very brief snapshot of the results and reporting, but it basically just shows you which areas you can focus on the most and which areas you'll be using the most in terms of focus activity setting and also reviewing results. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call or email us at training@3plearning.com.au. Thank you.